Good morning, good evening, bonjour, bonsoir à tous, and bienvenue. Welcome to this week's edition of Wada Forum, the 20th of February, 2025. Can't believe we're already in February, almost at the end of February, even. Our agenda for today, after our opening, we'll go through some community network updates focusing on SingularityNet deep funding round ongoing now and give everyone present a chance to pitch some proposal ideas as we announced last week. And then next is getting into some of the Intersect and Cardano, in particular, kind of Intersect voting, things that we're voting on, net change limit, budget, and then talking about some other conversations that are going on, DREF compensation, etc. And then we have some other ideas around the Intersect committees as well that we wanted to talk about. So that's a bit of an overview of what we've got going on for today. So next
Awesome.
slide. Here are some great resources on our three different, main areas of interest: Intersect, Cardano Foundation, and SingularityNet. Highly recommend visiting those links if you have any questions to follow up on after this call or anything sparked your interest and you want to maybe do some reading for yourselves. All right, so just to remind us all about why we're here, our mission at the Wada Forum is really to elevate underrepresented groups through the application of technology and invest in a more equitable future. So we hope to go through this mission together with all of you. Then another kind of announcement. We've been talking about this since the beginning of the year, but the Wada Forum is taking on a new meeting cadence in 2025. So we will focus the first forum of each month on a big event, trying to focus on having panels, discussions, inviting guest speakers, have, a hot topic of the month really being highlighted and hashed out. That's more of kind of a big event, open to everyone, open to the public. But then the weekly sessions will be more targeting our internal hub network. So encouraged for hub leads and hub members to attend. And these are more of like WADA general meetings to keep kind of this discussion going. So maybe continue some of the conversations that were started in that big event, to tell you all about different opportunities that are available, through our different channels, give updates and, have discussions and collaborations. So that's kind of our new path in 2025 and what we're focusing on in terms of the forum specifically for this year. So just in case that wasn't clear, we'll talk about this at the beginning of each session to just keep reminding everyone. So next, for those of you who were not here last week, I would like to pass over to Edufwa to give a quick recap of last week's meeting. Over
Hello,
to you, Edufwa.
everyone. So last week, just to go over a few highlights of our call last week. Last week for ecosystem updates, in terms of SingularityNet, we said that there were two RFP rounds open. That's the DDI research and the reputation and vote weight system. As of last week, we said there were 18 days left to submit proposals under each of the RFPs. We also talked about the BGI Nexus, which is a new opportunity under the SingularityNet. And we said that as of last week, there were 11 days left to submit proposals under that as well. For Cardano and Intersect update, we spoke about the fact that the Intersect budgets and discussions ongoing are on the Cardano Forum. We also spoke about highlighting one candidate per person for the intersect committees. We're going to use the Wada Twitter account. And then we said that we're developing a criteria for multiple candidates and we'll share that strategy soon. For internal updates, we spoke about our DREP updates. We said our delegators had increased to 55 and the total voting power was at 11.465 million ADA. And there was a suggestion on the call last week to form an African DREP voting bloc. So we said that future discussions were planned. We're going to refine and implement that suggestion. There was also a call to action for our dear people in Goma. Due to the ongoing instability that's affecting our team members. So there was a fundraiser that was being organized for financial support, and that crypto donations were preferred due to the challenges they were having with fiat currencies. And I'm sure more updates will be given today on the call. Thank you. Over to you, Megan.
All right, excellent. Thanks so much, Edufwa, for the recap. Now I'm going to pass it over to, it's actually going to be Nana Safo. We were planning on Samuel, but he's having some internet troubles today. So Nana Safo to introduce the Pitch Fest for deep funding.
Yes.
Oh, Samuel, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Yeah, let's go.
I'm here, but Nana Safo can be a good backup anytime my issues come again. So this is the pitch fest for deep funding. If people on the call can remember, last week Nana Safo took us through the RFPs that is currently going on as far as deep funding is concerned. So we actually announced that this week or today we are going to ask. I like to call you visionary entrepreneurs or leaders in the industry to present your groundbreaking proposals so that we can showcase innovative projects that are poised to drive significant change. So without saying much, let me say thank you for joining us, and I'm looking forward to inspiring presentations ahead. On this note, I don't know how I'm going to start people on the call. Maybe I start with Nana Safo because he has a lot of ideas as far as these RFPs are concerned and what is to expect. Nana Safo, do you have any ideas you want to bring on board? And maybe after you have take turns to go to other people and see what everybody have up their sleeve.
Well, thank you, Samuel. But on these various RFPs, the idea really is to give the opportunity to our various hub members and hub leads to come up with their ideas, and then we will kind of look through and then select those that have higher competitive advantage, and then support them in terms of the proposal drafting, and then submission and promotion and whatnot, and then we take it from there. All right. So I mean, personally, I do not have any ideas yet, but I'm here to learn from the community hubs as to what they have. So yeah.
That's a good way to dodge my question, but that's fine. Okay, so I'll go to Megan. How do I handle this? Do I mention names?
Well, I mean, this was brought up last week, and I believe the one person in the call last week who had an idea was Dan. I don't see him here today, but I'm not sure if he was working with anyone else in DRC or somewhere else. Or please raise your hand, anyone on the call who has been thinking about deep funding. And if not, we don't have to force anything, but really just to reemphasize that we want to start becoming stronger as a community and as a network. And what we've kind of been noticing over the different funding rounds and different things is we end up competing against each other and having ideas that, may be lacking in resources and don't get funded, where we have this platform, the WADA community, where we can leverage that to come together, to have ideas together, to collaborate together, to put in proposals together. So we wanted to just emphasize that this forum space is a place to foster those collaborations. So if you even just have an idea that you're not sure about, but something you're looking for other people who might want to collaborate on and put your heads together to actually put in a proposal, you can just throw that idea out here now. But if not, we can move on to the next point.
Okay, so let's see if anybody can raise their hand in the next minute or so. But there's Abdul Rahman, who I believe is very experienced in deep funding. He's actually well versed in the ecosystem. Abdul, do you want to share any idea? I want to put you on the spot. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate everybody on the call. Yeah. There's no much about like personally, we don't have any proposal that we are putting in for the BGI Nexus, but there is one that we put in for the community of RFP in the previous time. I think I discussed with Mercy and she made mention of it last week. So we are looking into if, like more or less like as she proposed that it won't be ideal to be competing against ourselves in this coming rounds. So it's very important that we communicate our ideas together and see how far we can integrate things together. So what we agreed on was what I'll be putting in our proposal, then as we move ahead as well, since I have an idea initially to put in and I'll put in a proposal as well. So whichever one that got funding, so we'll be working together. And recently, there is an ongoing, let me say this funding is actually trying to diversify ways of actually bringing proposals in. So they want to actually focus on RFP for now. So recently, they will be disclosing about ideation track or something like that. So I got to know about that because I was part of the deep funding marketing cycle. So there's something of new idea talking about if we have community member from India and who happens to be students. So there will be a launch of India hackathon initiative, sort like that. So where student comes together and build innovative projects regarding AIs and get funding and support for technical development and hackathon. So a lot of things that I want like happy that are putting that on the pipeline to be announced very soon. So officially, yeah, that's what I would say for now. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that submission. Great initiatives out there. We look forward to what is to come and count on Wada, count on the community to give any support that you may need as you push your idea through. Thank you very much. Megan, it looks like there's no hand raised, if I'm correct. So maybe we can move on and give chance for others to continue thinking about them and realign next week.
Yeah, that sounds great. And I'll try to get someone from the Cameroon Hub here next week, maybe to talk about the proposal that they put in for the community hub.
Hey, Megan.
They were kind of excited.
Sorry, Megan. There is Olivier from Goma. I don't know if he has access to Dan's work.
Is he on the corner?
Yeah, Olivier is on the corner. Olivier, are you with Dan? Are you guys working on anything related to deep funding RFPs? Your voice is very far away. Can barely hear you.
Oh, Olivier, we can't hear you at all.
We can hear anything.
Maybe you could put in the chat or maybe writing in the chat might be better. Okay, well, we do have quite a packed agenda, so let's move on to our next point to start talking about some of Cardano and Intersect updates. So here I'll pass over the microphone to Nana Safu to give us an overview of all the different things going on.
All right, Megan. Thank you very much for the opportunity once again, and also thanks to everybody for making time to join us today. To go through this week's forum. I'm glad to be on this call to share with you a short presentation on what is happening in the ecosystem, the Cardano ecosystem, and this particularly has to do with the Cardano ecosystem, the Cardano blockchain ecosystem budget that is, currently in talks. If you go on Twitter, for instance, almost everywhere you would see some budgets flying here and there. If you go on Cardano Forum too, you will see them flying here and there, as well as on Discord, you see them flying here and there. So, as promised last week, we have decided to put together a high level summary of what the budget is all about and what you need to know, at least on a high level. But going forward, we will look into, entering into the details where you can actually have access to the breakdowns and the various budget line items, and then you can probably get to understand or appreciate if, they should be passed or they shouldn't be passed regarding that. So first off, I want to state here that all figures I'm going to mention on this call are indicative and they're also subject to change based on either price fluctuations or community feedback and any on-chain approvals that happens. And this is practically because the budget process is currently in the socialization phase, which means that they are kind of trying to create awareness about it before they begin to move it to on-chain for voting by DREPs and constitutional committees. So yeah, before we can get to the budget, there is one critical element that has to be addressed or has to be passed by the ecosystem before any budget whatsoever can be introduced for voting in the ecosystem. And that element I'm talking about is the net change elements. You may have seen NCL, moving around. That is practically for net change limits. And currently, as of today, it was submitted on the Cardano, was submitted on the GovTools forum for people to kind of deliberate over it and provide their insight and cast mini votes before they can now move it to the main on-chain for DREPs to vote on. So per the proposal as at now, it's stated at 350 million ADA, and that is practically because it is estimated that the treasury would grow by 350 million ADA for the year 2025. So currently the net change limit is being set at 350 million ADA, and the net change limit practically is more like a cap, a budget cap that is going to act as the uppermost withdrawal that can ever happen to a treasury in the year 2025. So what it means is that if it is approved as 350 million ADA, we cannot have more than 350 million ADA withdrawals from the treasury for the year 2025. And reading the proposal, I realized that they are trying to include 2026 in there as well. I believe there's going to be deliberations and then come up with a lot more clarity on that. And what this sought to do really is to ensure that the ecosystem's treasury is sustainable and is stable for doing business. So that is practically why there's a need for net change limit. Other than that, you will see people putting in proposals which supersedes the balance that we have in our treasury, and that will not be good for the ecosystem. So this is just to keep that cap and allow people to apply within. Yeah. So that will now lead us to the budget highlights, and the draft officially was released on the February 11th of 2025 on the Cardano Forum for the community to deliberate over it and provide their insights, make their arguments, raise their concerns, and what have you, practically to enable the budget committee to up their game in terms of what figures really should go on chain and what elements or items should go on chain and all of those things. So they are just using that to collect feedback from the community in order to improve the budget draft before putting it on chain for DREPs and constitutional committees votes. And practically it has involved input from more than 100 members across committees and working groups. And I believe we all have seen some discussion going about on social media, and that is a sign of the involvement from the community regarding the budget process. Next slide, please. So there are basically 5 budget buckets that we are looking at in 2025, and we are going to go through this bucket on a very high level, so that at least we can be able to cover all of them, and then subsequently, on our subsequent meetings, we'll try to dive deeper into these buckets and then get to understand the various items that are actually constituting the figures that we'll be seeing on this particular call. So the first budget bucket that we'll be looking at today is the Cardano core budget, and that has that has a value of 125,304,400 ADA. Assigned to it, and these funds are practically requested for, from the technical steering committee and open source committee, and it is really to help focus on ongoing development, maintenance, and security of the Cardano blockchain. So that is what it is meant for practically. So it is just for core stuff, like technical development stuff. And then the second item, or the second bucket, is governance support budget, and that one also has 13,170,500 ADA, and it is also being requested by the Cardano Service Committee and then the Budget Committee. And that is practically to cover Cardano constitution upkeep and also the governance processes and budget management. And then the third one is the research budget, which has 27,211,304 ADA, and being requested from the Cardano Product Committee. And it is practically to cover academic and product research, committee operations, and also a 5-year ecosystem vision plan that we are looking to establish for the entire ecosystem. Cardano is a research-based blockchain, so this is how you're trying to move things. Next slide, please. The fourth one is the innovation budget, and that one has a tune of 77,526,800 ADA, and it is being requested from the members and community committee, which is the MCC. I believe we have heard about them on the socials, and it is to focus on community engagement and participation. So practically events and forums and online platforms that we'll be using and we'll be hosting. These are all items that will be covered under this innovation budget. And we can also find Project Catalyst here. That is requesting about 70 million ADA, 75 million ADA also. So that is also under this particular bucket. So yeah, we noted that as well. And then the last one is the growth and marketing budget. As at the time of research, they had a tune of 20,394,540 ADA, and this was practically being requested from the growth and marketing committee, and also it is looking to cover costs for marketing initiatives, advertising campaigns, events, and meetups, practically to just promote Cardano. That is what it is going to cover for. And all of these various budget items, they have their way of being withdrawn from the treasury. And, all of them are going to be managed either through one or two treasury withdrawal actions. And then, the disbursement will be delivered on schedule and according to, the rules given to the smart contract. So like, for instance, some of the budget buckets will be withdrawn from the treasury one time, and then it will be kept in the CDH, and then the smart contract will disperse it according to a timeline, like say for instance June 2025, July 2025, September, August, whatever. Then the budget will be released as such for whoever is in charge to use it for what activities they want to use it for. And then so yeah, that is pretty much all about the budget. On the high level, I do encourage that you look for the links on Cardano Forum and then read through the various budget items, try to understand what the items are, and assess whether or not they are necessary or they are not necessary with respect to the figures attached to them. At least get informed, be informed as an ecosystem member, because this is for you and then this is for us. So on that note, I would end my presentation here, and then I will drop the links to the various budget items in the chat so that you can have a look afterwards. Thanks, Megan, for the opportunity once again.
Yeah, thanks so much, Nana Safu. I wanted to say, this was kind of some heavy stuff, so maybe right now we could pause quickly, just if there's any questions or comments anyone wants to add here before we go on to the next point.
Sure, happy for that.
You can also, yeah.
Okay, I want to ask Nana Safu a question.
Sure.
Yeah.
These are highly technical stuff. What is the implication for me, an ordinary stakeholder in the Cardano ecosystem?
That's a great question. Um, so like you put it, it is highly technical, right?
Yeah.
But then the idea is that for you as an ordinary member in the ecosystem, this is how your funds, right? Your funds are going to be spent in the coming year. I mean, in 2025, leading into 2026. So, for instance, if you take say growth and marketing budget, for instance, which has about 20.3 million, and I believe that one of the committee members, Kate, is on this call, right? So that is practically going to facilitate the marketing and advertisement of Cardano and its
Yeah.
related activities, in 2025. So for you as a layman, right, all you have to do, like I said, is to be in the known. And then, if you're not a D-Rep yourself, right, try to engage in the ecosystem, share your thoughts. Your G probably might be listening or might be watching, and then he'll pick a thing or two from there. Allow it to kind of inform his decision in terms of voting, so that at least they will make sure that whatever it is that they are voting on is going to bring positive impact to the ecosystem, because it does affect you directly and indirectly as a layman. Because
Yeah.
for instance, if you are taking about, I think this budget, this whole budget, the summary is hovering around 200 million ADA plus. So if you are taking 200 million ADA plus from the treasury and it is not being put to good use, and then it is not yielding any positive result to the ecosystem, it means that you are being affected as an individual in the ecosystem, in a sense that you are spending money from your treasury, but you are not growing, and there is no income coming from whatever it is that you are spending on. So it will affect, the process. And if I put Africa in perspective here, for instance, we draw mostly on the catalyst activity. So what that means is that in the long run, there probably might not be funds for Catalyst to even operate anymore. And then what that means is that, we will not have the chance to even put forth our innovative ideas to even seek funding, right? And even in the intercept activities as well. So it is a duty as a member in the ecosystem to, at this stage, be in the known. I mean, be interactive, interact and engage with the various, items and the budgets and then discussions that are happening, just so that, you're able to at least lay forth your own views so that somebody can pick it up from there and then proceed to, making a very good decision for the entire ecosystem. Then in return, it benefits you as a
Yeah.
layperson in the ecosystem.
Yeah. I was going to pick your thoughts on let's say focus on Africa. You mentioned it slightly in the last part of your submission. Do you think this budget in any way give any glimmer of hope for those of us in Africa? And is there any window of opportunity we can explore going forward in this calendar or budget year?
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunities in there if this budget is actually passed by the ecosystem, right? There are a lot of opportunities in there. For instance, intercepts are going to have access to control some funds, or let me put it, grants practically, to help those who have innovative ideas. So Africa, for instance, we have a huge market when it comes to innovation and human resource. So we put these ideas together and then we can submit when these portals are opened, get access to the funds and then use it to develop our ecosystem. Our African ecosystem, right? And then from there we can take it up. The other side also is the Project Catalyst initiative, which is also, under the innovation budget, about 75 million ADA, and they are looking to run for three funding rounds, right? So what it means that from Fund 15 to about Fund 18, this budget is going to cover, those costs if passed. So that would also pave a way or provide opportunity for the African community to also submit and then also get some funding from there. And then also those who are, subject matter experts and want to probably join the committees, for instance. There's a budget that is looking at incentivizing committee members, right? So if you happen to be on a committee or get a chance to be on there, then obviously you get to enjoy what benefits are there as well. And also there's a talks of due compensation, which is a very huge and very heated topic in discussion now. But if everything goes according to plan and it is passed, obviously if you become a DREP, then you get a chance to also benefit from some incentives if you execute your rules diligently, right? Then you get a chance to enjoy from there as well. And I believe there are a lot of other, opportunities, development opportunities, like I mentioned, technical development opportunities. So if you're a tech savvy individual here, if you are a developer, and you can just get involved, especially when you join these working groups, and then that is where you actually get to build your reputation from, and then your exposure from. So once you join the working groups, you build it from there, and then when the chance comes or when the opportunity comes, it is easy for you to actually access it because you have already done the groundwork. So, on this note, I would entice each and every person on this call to, whatever your role is, whatever your, whatever your expertise is, right? Take it up, get interactive, just get interactive, be on the calls, whatever, contribute as you can. And then if you can't even contribute anything, just be on the call, listen to what they're saying. And then that would, in a way, provide a way for you to be exposed and also at least get to learn what the processes are. So it becomes easy for you when the opportunities are open. Other than that, we would likely see all of the opportunities, slipping off to the other ecosystems or the other communities. And I don't think that is what we want to, do. And of course, with the Intercept House, for instance, there's going to be opportunity for a lot of applications. So if you're also looking to apply as an Intercept hub, you can begin putting yourself together and then preparing for the opportunity once the window is opened.
Excellent delivery, even better answers. Thank you, Nana Safo.
Thank you.
Somebody's hand is up. Martin, please unmute and come through.
Yeah, hello everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Hi, Martin. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Nana. This is quite very informative. And so I see the entities that are requesting funds, like the MCC requesting funds, or any other place where the catalyst community is going to get funds. So how is accountability achieved in all these things? How is the community going to make sure that these entities are making good use of the money they get from the treasury?
Awesome. Thanks for that question. This is really brilliant. It is something that we all expect as an ecosystem. And even currently, if you would notice, let me use Catalyst as a caveat here, for instance. So if you would notice, Catalyst has become very, very, very strict about certain things and certain activities. And it is practically because the ecosystem demands for accountability and transparency. And that is why some of the processes with regards to how we used to do things, have been changed drastically. And, it has its own pros and cons, Sometimes it is even difficult to engage with the platforms and, sometimes you just want to give up, but, you can't give up because, especially if you have been here since day one, you just have to strive forward and then look for ways and means of meeting the demands. So the same applies to this budget that we are looking at. Right now in the era we are, it's more like the product or the project has been handed over to the entire ecosystem or the community. So it is practically the community commanding where things should go and where we should head and where we should not head. So what it means is that for anything or for any case, there has to be auditing or accountability for whatever budget or whatever withdrawal that going to be taken from the treasury. So in my delivery, I did mention that the CDH, that is Cardano Development Holdings, and then there is Intercept, for instance. So Intercept is more like a member-based organization or a body who is going to supersede or oversee the use of funds that are withdrawn from the treasury. And once the funds are withdrawn from the treasury, they are kept in the CDH, and then by the smart contract regulations and programming, they are released to the various holders accordingly, so that they can use for their activities and projects and programs as well. So that is where the auditing comes in. There's going to be an auditing budget for contracting auditors, external auditors, to come and audit, the various spendings and activities of, the budget items. The various committees who will be in charge of the various budget items. So that is where the auditability would come in. But that is also something that is currently in discussion because, some of the community have the view that no, we don't need to have external auditors. It needs to be something internal. Like we need to have we need to give it to the community to do their own auditing, that kind of thing. But SMEs are also saying that no, let's give it to external auditors so they can do proper work in terms of auditing for us to, be sure of what we are looking at and how transparent things can be. So Intersect is doing everything within their power to ensure that there is enough transparency and enough accountability with regards to the budget and the spendings from the treasury. So yeah, for now, that is what I would say as an answer to your question.
It seems like there's a lot of interest in this topic. I just wanted to move us along for today, but we do have this, kind of on our minds as a hot topic for the community. So today, was a big introduction, and I think it's already starting to get a lot of people thinking about some important questions. So please feel free to bring some more of those questions next week, and we can continue maybe getting into some more of those questions next week. But for today, I want to keep us moving along. So the next thing to talk about, which is sort of in line with these things, I wanted to give a bit of feedback. I did attend a DREP compensation community consultation last week, I believe. On a very high level, nothing has been decided yet. They're sort of figuring out some different recommendations. A lot of people have concerns that some of the things that seem to be most seriously being considered are looking at compensating only the top, I think they were saying top 20 DREPs, which brings up a lot of concerns about, are we encouraging decentralization, or are we really kind of inherently in these practices encouraging centralized tendencies? But basically, it's sort of early in the community consultation. I'm waiting to hear an official announcement about when the next session is, unless I missed something. If anyone has heard about when the next session is happening, please post it in the chat, and we'll inform you when we hear about it. But just wanted to kind of highlight that those conversations are happening in terms of how DREPs will be compensated. Of course, they're not compensated now. All DREPs are acting on pure adrenaline and excitement for being part of governance. But it is a conversation, and most of the community agrees that there should be some type of compensation. So they are working to consult the community on how that should look like. And I do encourage anyone who's interested in that topic on participating in the future community consultations that we'll share when we have more information about when they will be held. Next topic, Mercy is not able to join us today, but she gave me some notes on some different points to talk about regarding committees. So we've talked, around the last time that committee seats were coming up for election, that we need to be more strategic about how we position ourselves as, candidates representing the African continent. And some more information will be coming out in the coming days. Mercy mentioned that elections will be coming around in April. So just look out for that. We've got a few months still, but means that now is sort of the time to start thinking about whether you're interested in being a candidate for any of these committees, and we can start kind of gauging interest. But as well, we will be sharing some more guidelines from Intersect in terms of what, quote unquote requirements they'll have for people to be part of the committees. And maybe requirements is a strong word, but kind of recommended profiles of candidates for that. So we'll be sharing that as we get that information, but just wanted to kind of have on people's radar that will be coming around the corner. And we do want to make sure to use this space to coordinate and make sure to be pushing our own community members into some of those seats. All right, next slide. All right, back to Nana Safu for some DREP updates from the WADA DREP.
Thanks, Megan. So for
Oh,
today,
Nana Safu, your audio has become a bit distant, or is it just me?
yeah, sorry, can you hear me now?
Oh, much better, thank you.
Awesome, thanks. So for today, I just want to talk about something that we are looking to evolve into gradually as WADA DREP, or let me say as WADA, for instance. WADA, we're looking to establish something like a research council. So if you are here and then you're a researcher, particularly if you're a hub lead or if you belong to a hub, please do well to express your interests. And this for now will be voluntary, but as time goes by, we will look at how best we can remunerate efforts as put in. So that is something I just want to share with you so that you have it at the back of your mind whilst you look out for the opportunity to pop up. And that being said, I want to also share that the WADA DREP currently has its active voting power sitting at 11.463 million ADA. And then our delegators is still sitting at 55. We have not searched up yet, but I do hope and believe that going forward or in the coming weeks, as more and more people get to engage with the budget, and then they get to realize that, okay, this is something that we need to pay attention to. This is something that we need to register our voice. I do believe that if you are looking for a DREP to represent that voice of yours, WADA DREP is here to, represent your voice truly. And also, Megan is here with Laku DREP. They are also one fantastic DREP that you can also look at in terms of representing the voice. I also want to acknowledge the presence of Kit. Kit is also a DREP, Kit Willow on the court here. He is also a DREP, and then he's also a fantastic guy. When you go on Twitter, you will see him almost everywhere. I always say this guy doesn't sleep, but you know how it is. Very aggressive about the process. So yeah, please do well to look out for any of these DREPs, WADA DREP, Laku DREP, Kit, Seidu, Goma, DREP, Lido Nation, all of these African DREPs, just look through, pick the one that you feel can, truly represent your voice. And then, delegate your stake to them. I always say, don't allow your stake to automatically delegate to the auto abstain. It doesn't help in any way. And as a community member, as some ask the question, what does all of this mean to you as an ordinary member? The most important thing is for you to participate. And that the only way you can participate is if you cannot become a DREP yourself, delegate to a DREP and then allow them to represent you. And I believe that will serve the purpose of which we evolved, into this governance era. Thanks, Megan, and thanks everyone for being here once again.
Yeah, I just wanted to hover slightly on the if you don't delegate, you're automatically sort of fueling this auto abstain category. So please, as Nana Safo said, just consider, where you might align with your interests. There are a lot of great DREPs out there. A lot of us figuring it out, trying it out. It doesn't hurt you to delegate. So if you have any questions about that, Nana Safo is a great resource, but any DREP can also point you in the right direction. Okay.
Absolutely.
So next on we kind of pushed the Q&A earlier. So next was kind of just wrapping up. I see that we have some GOMA members here. So I would really love to hear from you all kind of how you're doing. Just a reminder, last week we kind of talked about how we're thinking about our family, our WADA family that's in Goma and the different things that they're dealing with right now. with just kind of some violence in the area and take over. So if anyone on the call in Goma is able to share, an update, how you guys are doing, what's the situation looking like where you are? Or maybe Olivier, Martin, are you
Hello.
in? Hi.
Yeah, it's great. It's kind of great pleasure to be able to join a meeting today. Um, as you all know, the situation in Goma was not really good. The recent violences, it has been really hard time uh, being here. But the situation just sorry, is anyone else talking?
Oh, I think they went on mute. You can go ahead.
Yes, after some painful weeks, uh, I think now the situation starts getting a little bit better. And we now have like access to commodities like internet, electricity, and water, and a little bit calm outside. And so, we are here. We do not know what is going to be, how it is going to end. But we are all believing that the situation will be getting better and better. So from now, we completely have new authorities, new leaders. It's all they just install themselves, and they make their law. So it's quite dangerous. The situation in town around. So quite some people who had the possibility, they left the town, and others like myself, we couldn't move. We are still in the town, and we are really struggling to see how we try to get things normal, just little by little. So this is completely the first meeting I joined since uh, some like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Uh, Completely disoriented and not really good, not feeling able to concentrate on anything due to the kind of situation. And the Goma Hub just starting to recover little by little with some little activities, trying to start discussing how we can go forward. But really still difficult, but we all believe that things should be improving as days are going on. Uh, that's the little thing I can mention about the situation in Goma.
Well, Martin, thanks so much for sharing with us, and thanks for being here with us today. It sounds like a lot going on. It's amazing you're able to, join the meeting and care about the Cardano budget in this time. Really, we're glad to have you here. And, as a reminder, I have posted an address in the Wada Hubs chat. I'll share it here in a moment. If you wanted to contribute, we are collecting ADA for just a small kind of relief support for those of our Hub family members who are in Goma. And I will, post a last call and send a first amount later today, maybe for you guys by tomorrow morning. Just a little bit from the hubs to show our support and solidarity with you during this time. But with that being said, we are rounding up on the hour. So just wanted to say thank you again, everyone, for being with us here today at the Wada Forum. It's a pleasure to meet with you all every week, in and out, and we look forward to seeing you again this time, the later time. We heard your voices. You like the later time. Again next week. Nana Safo, Samuel, if you also have any closing words.
Okay. So from me, I think you said it all. And to our members in Goma, I just want you to know that we are in this together. And as Megan said, the wallet is up. If you want to donate anything to the Goma team, please do well to share with share to the wallet, and we'll have it delivered to them as it is supposed to be done. And thanks to everybody for being here. I want to also encourage you to take your time to go through the budget items and then kind of befriend it in a way, and then provide your input on the Cardano forum, sharing the link to the various budget items on this call, so you can just go there and then share your inputs and your thoughts, ask your questions, get answers to your questions, and then let us all build a better ecosystem for all of us. Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. And Richmond, now we can cue the outro music.